Hi guys, my name is Kevin,
And I'm Dylan.
and we're here to give you a sense of direction.
A sense of direction.
I feel like the first one was better. It's fine.
Okay.
We're gonna keep moving forward.
Today we're gonna talk about how to read your pay stubs.
But before we do that, we're gonna talk about the first job we had where we first received our first pay stub. So, Dylan, if you would like to go first.
My first job was working at the movie theater, Quill Springs Mall. The best part of the job was free movie tickets.
Yes.
And I got to bring a plus one, like free 2 tickets. 2 tickets for free. I think they stopped doing that, but like
Was
for
there
the
like a
employees.
limit, like a weekly limit, daily limit?
I don't know. It depends who was working concierge. If you knew the friend, they would hook you up.
Yeah.
As long as no one was telling the manager. But we did have a crazy wild goose chase one time. Someone left the side doors open, and as you know, here in Oklahoma, the geese get very territorial when they're nesting.
And they hiss.
Yes. So some kids left the door open. Geese started to walk in through the theater.
Like, your popcorn's too expensive.
Yes. And that's how they got thrown out. They didn't have their wallet. No.
Wow.
And then because they were nesting, like they were just so aggressive. They started attacking people. We had 8 people with brooms form a wall to like scooch them out back in the door. And I had to like say no because there were some dumb teenage boys that were like, let's just spray chemicals on them. They'll leave.
You took a stance, and we respect you for that.
Because as though we don't want them inside the theater, why? Like, just shoot them back out the door.
And that's the AMC way.
What was your first job?
My first job was at Mickey D's.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually won Best Burger Flipper for the whole year. I think it was like 2013. I was like 17 years old. No. I was 15. And I don't know if you know this, but McDonald's has like a corporate building, and it's kind of like a White House. So like, have you ever seen like whenever a team wins the NBA Finals, they'll like walk up and they'll meet the president? So I got to meet actually Ronald McDonald.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. Did they give you a golden spatula?
No, they gave me a golden cheeseburger though.
That's so cool. That's better.
Edible,
That's way
and
better.
It's I think it's good for like 25 years. It still hasn't.
Oh, good.
It still looks
Sweet.
good, so I might.
So you could snack on it tonight.
I could.
Crack that bad boy open.
Yep.
You think it aged like fine wine?
It looks delicious.
Yeah?
It still looks good. Hasn't changed one bit. It's crazy.
Yeah. I know for a fact that I had no idea what I was reading when I received my first pay stub. I saw the pay and I said, wow, that money is mine.
Yeah, the first thing I saw on my pay stub was that little sign, the dollar sign.
Wow.
Yeah. And everything else kind of just blurred, and all I thought about was how many cheeseburgers I could buy with it.
Yeah.
So.
Do you know how to read your pay stub now?
I do.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's get into that. Alrighty, it looks like we have a pay stub for Turtle T. McTurtlestein. Oh, and he lives in Fakestown. On Fake
I've heard
Boulevard.
good things about Fakestown. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's see. How much does Turtle McTurtlestein make an hour? $18 an hour. It's not bad.
Yep, it looks like they're working 40 hours a week. This pay period, let's start at the beginning. At the employee pay stub, we have a check number right there. It's probably their first check. I'm just kidding. That is for the employer. It has nothing to do with you.
Yep.
Your pay period was the period of time in which you worked. So it looks like 2 weeks since he got 80 hours. It's March 29th to April 11th. I realized that sounded like a month when I said that. But
looks like he got paid on the 18th.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a little bit different than the 11th. So.
Right.
But that's pretty typical. You'll receive your pay check usually about like a week. What is that? Is that about a week? 2 weeks?
Yeah, that's actually exactly a week after that pay period.
Yeah, a week after their pay period. So you're usually, I feel like you have your 2 weeks, then you get your paycheck, and then like it
usually the
restarts.
week you get your paycheck, that week that you've worked already is on the next pay period.
Yeah.
You'll get really used to knowing that because we all know when we're getting paid because it's like Christmas, you know?
So it's the very important date.
Yes.
Or dates of the month. Then we have his name and his address and his social security. It's just really important to make sure you double check those and make sure that they're spelled right. There's not a number off. There's not a letter off, because those can create problems later in the year when you have to file your taxes.
Yep.
So then we have earnings and hours. We already said he worked 40 hours a week at 18 an hour, but it looks like they have some overtime. They worked almost 4 hours of overtime. Their hourly rate for overtime is generally time and a half. So his hourly is at $18. That's $9 at a half. 18 plus 9, 27.
Perfect.
Then we have the gross amount of pay that they received from $18 an hour, working 80 hours, plus the almost 4 hours of overtime at the current. So that's about almost $100 of overtime.
Yeah.
And then we have the yearly amount. They always list the yearly to date so that you know how much money you've been making over time.
It's a little bit of an ego boost, I would say. You know?
I always get shocked. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Whoa, where'd that money go?
I'm like,
Then we have some deductions. Yes.
Oh no.
Deductions, we sound, that kind of sounds like a negative word, but I think that these two things are very important. And a good thing to note is that these are coming before you are getting taxed, right? Is that okay?
They're coming before you're getting taxed.
Yeah, so they are taking out of the $1,440 that you've made plus the $1,539.90, and then from that they're deducting some money for their 401k, which gold stars. The earlier you save, the better for retirement.
Yes.
Also, there's it's never too late to save, but start saving early, especially when it comes to your retirement. So kudos, Turtle T.
Turtle T's on the money, man.
Yeah. So his 401k contribution is about $76.99. I can't do a percentage off the dome, so I can't tell you how much that is off of his check. And then it looks like they're also paying for health insurance.
See, both of those things are benefiting Mr. Turtle.
Yeah. And his life in the long run.
Right, yes.
I think they both have longevity.
So yeah, you're right. It's all about how you view these deductions. You know? The word gross, you see the word gross and you're kind of already on it.
You're grossed out.
Yeah.
Got an ick. Well, I get the ick from taxes because they confuse me sometimes. Why? There's so many. But some taxes I'm okay with because, Social Security, I guess. Federal withholding, sure. Medicare, I want other people to have health insurance, so I guess that's fair. But it looks like they don't. They're not paying anything for. Oh wait, no, it's down there. Okay, what is Medicare employee adult tax? I do not know. I'm sorry.
Medicare employee what?
The first one.
Adult tax.
Yeah, why is it $0?
Additional tax.
Additional.
I'm assuming that's.
Oh. I said adult. But federal withholding, that's your taxes to the government. The Social Security, that's just explanatory. Medicare, explanatory. And then we have the state withholding. It's also good to note that depending on your state, you might have more or less taxes coming out of this. It is important to know if your company or your boss, your work provider, your employer. Oh my God, I was losing that word. Okay, it's important to note if your employer is taking the taxes out on this pay stub, or if that is something that you will have to do on yourself. Because I know when I was working at the restaurant, they did not do one of those taxes. Like they took out a percentage for maybe the state taxes, but they didn't do the federal, or maybe they did federal, not state.
This is why it's important to understand your pay stub.
Yeah.
You want to catch it early on so you don't get
bamboozled in April
Yes.
or May. Yeah, April now was May. I don't know. But I had several friends at the restaurant that had to pay like over $3,000 in their taxes because of them not knowing how much, or they thought that they were getting it taken out and not knowing that they were not.
Right. You got to be careful because Uncle Sam is kind of sneaky like that. You know, he's not going to say anything until the time comes, and then he's going to get you.
Yeah.
So
he's sneaky. He likes to wait until you're screwed.
Yeah.
Sometimes. All right.
Love America.
Let's just go over net pay just briefly. That is so we see that Turtle went from $1,539.90 to $1,185. Yes, thank you. I hate reading numbers like that.
Look, it
I had
gets
to write
confusing.
a check today, bro.
It's scary. Seeing all these numbers are scary. But to make it easier, the taxes, I mean, that's just Uncle Sam wants a little bit of the pie, and you give it willingly because you're a good citizen, you know, and all these things help your fellow Americans. Deductions usually benefit you. So just see it that way. You know, don't take it too personal because it's going to help you in the long run, like your 401k. You know, you have to think about your future self. We'll get more in depth on the 401k for now. We'll just leave it at that. And then, you know, it's good to know how much you're making and then how much you're actually bringing home, which would be, in this case, $1,100 with 85 cents.
Yeah. Go Turtle.
Well, I will say, Fakestown, Oklahoma has a really, really good cost of living. So honestly, $1,100.85 at Fakestown, you're kind of like, you're a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, so good for Mr. Turtle over here.
Big baller. Since we talked about Mr. Turtle contributing to his 401k,
Yes.
Some companies provide contribution matches. So if you provide a set number or a set dollar amount that your company sets, they will actually match that dollar amount to your savings. So if your company provides that, we totally recommend if they provide any sort of contribution matching, go ahead and do the contribution. Like, you'll be saving your older self. Or no. Your retired self will be thanking you.
Yes, 100%.
So that gets us into saving money. Where does it matter the most? Where is my money? Where does it all go?
Yeah, so now you got your little check, you got your little pay stub, you know how much money you actually have now. So then you got to look at your lifestyle. You know, what you got going on here. You know, are you living in an expensive apartment? Are you living at home? You know, you got a car payment? Do you binge watch Netflix documentaries about serial killers? We don't know, but you do, and we need to track that, you know, so that we don't get lost in the sauce. So,
because don't you hate it when a bill comes and it takes the money out of your account and you're like, I had no idea that my electric bill was coming out.
Yeah.
So I recommend, from personal experience, just going through and figuring out when all of your major bills are like scheduled.
Yes.
And some of those companies, like your water or electric or gas, you can kind of pick the day that you pay. So if you don't get paid till like the end of the month or maybe in the middle of the month, like you can figure out when the best time for your pay schedule, your pay cycle, let's just say.
Pay period, one might even say.
To figure out when those things can be scheduled and not affect you.
Yes.
In a bad
We're trying to
way.
minimize the amount of stress.
Yeah.
You know, so get your ducks in order and then just...
And it's not scary knowing like what all of your purchases are. Because I went through actually a couple months ago and I like just wrote down all of my credit card statement of like, okay, this was how much I spent on food because my particular app did not do that for me.
Oh, of course.
There are some apps that will split that up for you, like your subscriptions, your food, your gas, like that stuff. Comment below if you have a good one, because I'm doing it old style, notebook and pen, and
something you kids don't know about.
And it was a little like, oh, I spend that much? Like, whoa.
It's a little reality check. No pun intended. But, yeah, it's good to track your expenses.
Yeah. And it's not scary. It's your money. You should know where it's going.
Yes.
And how much you're spending on things. So just, like, keep a review, a reminder in place. Maybe it's not every month or even every week, because I feel like that's crazy. I have some weeks that I barely know what's going on.
Sure. Sometimes. Look, man, we're all winging it sometimes.
Yeah. But just like maybe every 3 months, or maybe you realize like, oh, it's been a while since I've kept track of what that is. Did my bills move around? Am I still paying for Netflix?
Do I still live here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, let's go into dumb purchases that we have made in our lives, speaking about keeping track of where our money goes.
Do you want to go first?
Okay. It wasn't necessarily a dumb purchase. It was a dumb move to offer up purchasing an Airbnb stay and not trusting some of the friends to pay you when they say they would pay you.
On our next episode, we're going to talk about how you can choose your friends wisely. But keep going.
So I paid for an Airbnb in Colorado. It was a couple of friends in high school.
Oh, no.
That's the biggest thing, because high schoolers, I mean, maybe you guys are good with money now, but when I was in high school, we had money and then it was gone, and we had no idea how that happened. Except for this one. I really wanted to go to Colorado to like go hiking and like just be somewhere else.
Yes.
And I had 3 friends pay and 2 friends say, I'll pay you right up and like right before we go.
The old, I'll get you back, pal.
Yeah. And then the day comes and they're like, oh, my paycheck didn't come through. Like, I'm waiting on money. My grandma's going to send me something. So I was like, no worries. Like,
On our next episode, we're going to talk about how not to be so gullible.
Yeah. Trust your gut. If they keep passing it off and passing it off and passing it off, they're probably not going to pay you back.
If they keep ducking you, if you haven't seen them for a couple months after said request for payment, you're not getting that back, Bubba.
Yeah. And then I will say one thing. If you are planning a group trip with friends,
cash up front.
Do your research on how, pick a few places. Do the math of like, this is how much this place is, this is what it has, whatever. Let them pick, then it is their choice of how much they are spending. You're not telling them an amount. It is now their decision of, oh, well, I chose to pick the $300 a night versus the 150, you know?
That's big brain energy right there.
So that's how I've been navigating now. And now I've had no troubles.
Yeah.
No troubles.
That's great.
Yeah. I love my friends.
Let's see. My dumbest purchase. I want to say purchase. Okay, it's bad financial decisions, not purchases. I was about 14 years old. I just got an email back when I had Yahoo email. I got an email from a Somalian prince saying that he was down on his luck. He could turn my $100 into $100,000 at that time.
No way.
I was very desperate, still living at home, working at McDonald's, making minimum wage.
You're like, damn, this prince needs my help.
In retrospect, it wasn't the best idea.
As a 14-year-old?
In the moment, I was like, this is the best financial decision I can make right now. And so
I gave him
I sent it
100.
over. I'm still waiting for that to this day. So
what do? You get home and
Prince
there's a
Mambambe,
giant...
if you're seeing this, I'm coming for you. Anyways,
So we would like to ask you guys, what was your dumbest purchase or financial decision you've made? And have you learned from that, or are you still making those decisions? I'm just kidding. You don't have to tell us that.
I've learned from it.
So to wrap up, we've gone through your paycheck. You got paid.
Sorry. No, I just heard my stomach on the mic, so I was like, fuck. Calvin said this thing picks up everything, so I know you guys just heard that.
Everything.
It's just low vibrational gurgles.
I'm just excited. Okay, back to the episode.
I don't know where I was.
What's one thing you want to improve on moving forward?
I would like to note that from our meeting last week, I did start reading over the weekend.
Oh, good job.
But so I guess that is one thing I've improved on from last week was actually reading a book that I've been trying to read for, I don't know, like 8 months. And then one thing I want to improve on in the next week is not letting my kitchen like go to waste after, like I wait sometimes to like clean.
Your kitchen go to waste? Oh, like as in like become a waste?
Well, like right now there's like bags on the, like over the week, like Monday, Monday, it's a clean slate, right? The house is clean.
Right.
And then Monday night I come home, I have bags. Maybe I went to the grocery store, maybe I went to the store, or I got mail, and then I just let it like pile up over my island. And I would like to not do that anymore because I like seeing it very clean.
Yes.
So
that's a good goal.
Decluttering the kitchen is where I meant to start this sentence at.
Well, we ended it there, so that's
Yes.
good. That's all that matters. Let's see. I have stopped wasting so much money at gas stations. I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that. It's like a candy store. You walk in there and it's just so colorful, bright lights. Self-checkout now. You don't have to talk to humans. Great incentive. But I fought the urge and I didn't spend as much money as I usually do. And then moving forward, I think I want to get back to journaling because I used to be really good about journaling and then I saw it as a drag, but now I'm not using my hands as much as I should be, so I'm going to pick up the pen and I'm going to start writing some stuff out. That's what I'm going to do.
Why do you think it was a drag?
Well, I'm literally having to drag the pencil.
To drag the pencil.
But
okay.
other than that, yeah, I have to sit down and actually write it out.
Yeah.
You know?
I always catch myself being like, I should write this down. I need to put this in the
I mean, and
notebook.
now I have ChatGPT, so it kind of does all my thinking for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Again,
Anytime I have to make a big life decision, I usually ask ChatGPT if it's a good idea. And
has it guided you well?
yes. Yes, it has.
Well, then good. Sweet, you're gonna be a cyborg by the end of by the end of it. Sick as heck. My first cyborg friend.
But okay. Anything else? Any last remarks?
Last remarks is I'm Dylan, he's Kevin, and we're here
to get no.
What? What's your timing?
We're here to give you a sense of direction.
We're here to give you a sense of direction.
Well, we just gave you a sense of direction because we just gave you a sense of direction. But yeah, you want to try it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
you gotta end it. I mean, you gotta start it and I'll end it.
I'm Dylan. He's
I'm
Kevin. I'm Dylan.
I'm Kevin. Let's just go.
And we have brought you a sense of direction. Hopefully.
Okay. We'll tie that up.